Each year, children spend about 900 hours in school versus over 7,000 hours outside of school. This means family is critical to a child's education. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers coming to you from the state capitol in downtown Lansing. Joining me now is the director of the Flint and Genesee Literacy Network, Janel Jamerson. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
So how, obviously a fairly new organization, how big of an issue is low literacy versus literacy in your community?
For sure. So literacy it impacts communities in a number of ways. When an individual does not have the ability to read, write, speak in English, to compute and solve problems, their ability to secure employment or to navigate the financial industry becomes significantly reduced. And so we know that in order to develop a truly expansive community that is welcoming to all people, but is also thriving, we need to make sure that we're ensuring a system in which people can be literate.
And you have come up with somewhat, hopefully, a way to attack this problem, a pilot program basically that has to do with really teaching the whole family how to better read and write and become more literate.
For sure. So our community has made a commitment to family literacy, well, early childhood and family literacy, which has a two-generational focus, understanding that parents and children learning together creates two generations but one future. We arrived at that priority area, though, by going through a 6-month community-wide planning process. Community members from across Flint and Genesee County lent voice, and over the course of those 6 months, we identified family literacy as a priority strategy for implementation, but also youth tutoring and mentoring.
And so now the pilot program has obviously been successful because you're looking at how can you expand this program? For
sure. So our pilot program in year 1 served about 25 families, children in the early childhood setting, and parents who are working towards a high school diploma or GED. In general, family literacy works towards parents being economically self-sufficient and children being supported academically, with parents and children learning together. And so in our first year, our pilot program went very, very well, and now we're looking at how to expand, particularly in the early childhood environment. We know that investments in early childhood are one of the best ways to get ahead of the impact of lead in children. And so investing in early childhood, but also supporting parents will be critical, particularly in Head Starts, early Head Starts, and any early childhood setting between birth and 3rd grade.
So really trying to get your program into those types of settings is the next step, what you're working on right now?
Yes, but not necessarily the Literacy Network's program, but the strategy area itself, and in really encouraging community members to take it upon themselves to take a two-generational strategy to the work that they're doing.
And obviously none of this work could be possible without everyone in the community who had some sort of a vested interest in this coming together and working collaboratively.
Yes, and what we know is that no one person or organization alone can solve society's largest issues. So if we're going to make a population level impact, we have to collaborate in ways that we haven't necessarily had to do before. And in Flint and Genesee County, we're seeing the real impact of what happens in collaboration. Our community college, Mott Community College, is the backbone support for the network, but hundreds of organizations are members and are collectively moving those strategies forward.
Obviously, have some success stories. You've been doing this for almost a little over a year, right?
Yes, for sure. And so through our early childhood action team, we have launched the Read While You Wait initiative, which puts mini libraries in 10 barbershops and regular waiting sites throughout the community. And that initiative is being led by the Flint Public Library. And that action team is also expanding out family literacy to include every child ready to read as a partnership between the Flint Public Library, the Flint Institute of Arts, and the Genesee Intermediate School District. We're launching a comprehensive summer learning initiative which will really engage young people and encourage families to combat the summer learning loss.
So you really do have an awful lot of people working together for a wonderful cause. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For more information on the Flint and Genesee Literacy Network, you can visit flintandgeneseeliteracy.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Janel Jamerson, the director of the Flint and Genesee Literacy Network.